Officials here follow the law. We're not a sanctuary state.
Right from the governor's mouth, saying Massachusetts is not a sanctuary state, as President Trump's Department of Justice plans to investigate state officials who don't comply with his immigration policies.
I'm not concerned. I have no reason to be concerned.
Healy says nothing has changed and that local police in Massachusetts focus on fighting crime, including crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. But just being in the state and undocumented is not a crime. It's a civil violation.
Civil detainers is a different issue, and currently it's governed by the SJC's decision.
This 2017 decision by the state's highest court, which says Massachusetts law provides no authority for court officers to arrest and hold an individual because of a federal immigration detainer.
What has frequently happened is that ICE is effectively asking local law enforcement to take on the role of holding someone for an unconstitutional period of time.
So our law says our local police don't arrest or detain people just because of their immigration status.
And what I want people to know is I want them to feel comfortable and safe to come to us. We do not enforce federal immigration laws. We don't go around doing raids and checking people's papers. That's not part of what we do.
And that lawyer and immigration expert who I spoke to explained to me that if the Trump administration doubles down and tries to get Massachusetts officials in trouble for not enforcing federal immigration law, the Trump administration could face a number of lawsuits from a number of different states.
At this weekend's CPAC event, the Conservative Political Action Conference, Trump administration border czar Tom Homan, who spent the opening days of the new administration in Chicago organizing raids here, says Boston is now in the crosshairs.
I read a story last night, the police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
Boston, like Chicago, is a sanctuary city. The mayors of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York will speak at a congressional oversight committee hearing investigating sanctuary city policies.
Border czar criticizing Boston at CPAC, that was this morning, talking about sanctuary cities and threatening the police commissioner of Boston for not complying with federal deportation policies.
I read a story last night, the police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox defending his department's stance on immigration, noting Boston is just following state.
Desafortunadamente, la administración federal quiere causar pánico en la comunidad y nos quieren distraer, pero para nosotros el enfoque es el mismo, es crear la seguridad pública para cada miembro de nuestra comunidad basado en una fundación de confianza entre comunidad y la policía, entre nuestra administración municipal y todos los servicios que la comunidad, que miembros de nuestra comunidad necesitan y
The police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
Homan delivering a speech at the Conservative Political Action Conference when discussing the Trump administration's goals for enforcing immigration. A sanctuary city is a city that limits its cooperation with federal immigration agents in order to prevent undocumented immigrants from deportation. Mayor Michelle Wu responding on social media to Homan's comments, saying, "This is our city. We're going to continue following and enforcing the laws to keep all Bostonians safe. And it goes without saying that our police commissioner has my complete confidence and support." The back and forth marks the latest in the dispute between the city and the federal government over immigration enforcement. Homan turning his attention back to Commissioner Cox.
You're not a police commissioner. Take that badge off your chest, put it in the desk drawer, because you became a politician. You forgot what it's like to be a cop.
As you guys can see, it has been a crazy few fresh weeks for this new current administration. And they have been cutting up in that office. Hello, everybody. My name is Stacy, and these are my random POVs. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Now it's time for me to play what people have been thinking and talking about this entire matter. This is Tom Homan versus the state of Massachusetts. And this is what people are saying about this entire madness. Subscribe so you can become a part of this village.
For those on the West Coast and Middle America who are confused, I'm going to clarify what's happening in Boston right now. Tom Homan, ICE dude, the reason some people are probably going to live out the rest of their lives in a hotel in Panama. The reason we spend over $1 million per flight to ship people to countries they're not from. It seems the ICE things aren't going as well as they thought they would. They were ready for bad boys, what you gonna do? And it was more like, bad boys, we followed you with a camera crew all damn day and you found nothing. Not that they haven't caught a few, but like, what we were promised versus what we got. And I don't know why Tom sitting in his office was like, well, we know where they are. Like Colorado, Texas, the U-Line warehouse. We know where they are in mass numbers, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Boston. This is gonna be good for us. Now let me explain. On the East Coast, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, we all have beef with each other for one reason or another. Specifically, like New York City and Boston and our baseball teams. We will talk shit to each other 24/7. It's a hobby. You're born into it. But one thing that's understood is it's like siblings who fight. You try to kill each other 24/7. You're doing everything for mom and dad's love and to not get caught doing the things that you were definitely responsible for. But the second anybody in the outside world so much as like glances at one of your siblings, fucking war. Boston is like, yo, Tom, feel free to come here. Bring your ICE agents. That would probably be smart for you. Yeah, no. We'll be nice. We'll be so nice if you come here. Let us show you the inside of a donkey's ice machine. These are people who wear flip-flops in snow to go to Donkey. No matter the time, no matter the weather. You think you're going to show up with ICE agents and they're just going to rat people out? The state that has some of the best healthcare programs in the country? You think you're going to fuck with them? Like, you fundamentally don't understand the East Coast. We all got raided. We're all living on top of each other. We have strong feelings about food and coffee and traffic and sports. But, like, all the way down to Pennsylvania, like, we got you. Even Maryland is like, I mean, we're not really part of this, but if you need you, we got your back, dudes. If ICE really tries it, I am absolutely sure Boston is just gonna pop off and it's gonna be fucking fantabulous. We are states that have dealt with some of the worst corruption. We are states that have every immigration group represented. We live on top of each other. We have some of the most expensive insurance and real estate prices in the country. We have made it through every variation of mob. You honestly think you're gonna come to our cities and, like, get a warm reception? Go back to Des Moines, assholes. Like, you not know what you're fucking with. If you can get yourself on Boston Talk, they come so close to actual death threats, it's outstanding. And the creativity? There are so many references to the way they're just gonna chowder people. Bring your soup? Somebody's ass is getting dropped in the hopper, and it's just the East Coast pride, because seriously, it's siblings that fight and try to kill each other until anybody else tries to step in. Like, ICE agents, just know you're sleeping in the dirtiest hotel room. If the cleaning crew is pretty sure those sheets are infested with herpes, guess what you're sleeping on tonight? Enjoy your time in Boston. Don't order an iced coffee. Fucking love.
I made a video about Tom Homan saying he's coming to Boston and he's bringing hell with him, alluding to bringing troops or some shit like that to Boston. Some people didn't believe he said it. They wanted my source, so I'm going to give it to you right now. Here it is.
You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
Have you seen a smile this genuine on anyone's face? You guys gotta go read the comments. It's got like 34,000. I had to spend the last 25 minutes approving comments because the shit people were saying. You've got New York and they're being like, yo, I fucking hate Boston, but you don't fuck with Boston. And then you got people from Boston that be like, oh yeah, Tommy, come on, Tommy boy, let's go, Tommy. They're talking about throwing Teslas in the harbor, calling it the electric tea party. Bro, you don't fuck with Boston. I can't contain this smile. It's not, the irony is not lost on me that the revolution started in Boston and now here we are. Guys, I gotta say, I'm 2 hours from Boston, and my ass will be there in a heartbeat if Tom shows up. If Tommy Boy shows up, I will be there in a heartbeat. That shit's wild. It's just fucking wild. Anyway, like, comment, share, do all the things. Do all the funny things. Jeez. Go read those comments. It'll make your whole fucking day. Not on this video. On the Boston video. Well, maybe on this video too. I don't know. As always, I love you. Thanks for making it this far. We'll talk soon.
Word on the street here in Boston is Tom Homan's coming to Boston to invoke hell on our city. He doesn't know hell. We chant, dump the tea into the sea. We are the home of the American Revolution. Dump the Tesla into the harbor. Let's have a 2025 electric fucking tea party.
I'm going to tell you why Tom Homan should actually be scared of going to Boston after the comment that he made about going to Boston and bringing hell with him. A lot of people are talking about how Boston started the revolution and things like that. That's in the past. But let me tell you why he should be scared now. I grew up in New England. I've lived here my entire life. I've been to Boston plenty of times. I've been to New York City. I've been to Montreal. I've been to San Francisco. Now, granted, it's not tons of large cities, but it's enough large cities to recognize that the feeling of Boston is different. There is an undercurrent in Boston, this energy that's there the entire time you are in that city. And that energy is that Bostonians are ready at the drop of a hat to party or to fight. That is literally party or fight. That is Boston. And let me tell you right now, they don't want to party with Tom Homan.
If you're in a blue state with elected officials who are going to be resisting Donald Trump, one of the most important things you could do is support those officials, because the MAGA folks are fantasizing about arresting a blue state governor or blue city mayor. I just saw a bunch of comments on a video fantasizing about arresting Michelle Wu of Boston, interspaced with comments about checking her own immigration status because she's Asian American. Spoiler, she was born in Chicago.
Whatever happens from this day forward, just know I did it for the love of my country. Just know that. Know that I learned that we have a Russian asset for a president, that we have an unelected official who has punks in there who have ties directly to Russia. His grandfather being a KGB agent. Just know that I watched Nazi salutes fly. Just know I just watched a NATO vote where we aligned ourselves with fucking Belarus and Russia and North Korea, and watched America sell its allies out. I watched a fucking felon who tried to burn the Capitol down get reelected. So whatever I do from this day forward is because I love my country. I just wanted it to be a good country for my son, and I wanted to uphold everything that my grandfather and uncle ever fought for in the wars. Folks, nobody's coming to save us. It's up to us, the people. There's not a Republican in office that's going to do a fucking thing about it. They're either a part of it, or they're like these other people. They're so goddamn stupid, they need to just get the fuck out of the way. It's up to us. And I'm going out swinging.
So apparently, Tom Homan wants to go into Boston. Send ICE into Boston. I live in California, and even I know that Boston does not play. Boston is about that life. Boston is a beast when it comes to crashing out. They're the OG crash outs. Remember a little thing called Tea Party? No. They may be some of the most vile and hateful people out there. But you know what? They are vile and hateful with love. Because they're not going to let somebody go in and take Mr. Jose that lives next door. Because then who else are they going to hate? Who else are they going to talk shit to? You know? So yeah. Go ahead and go into Boston. Go ahead. Try to bring hell with you. Even I know. Like, don't fuck around with Boston, because you will find out. Like, ask anyone who lives in Boston. And they'll say pretty much the same thing. Boston does not play. So, go ahead, Ice. Try. See what happens.
I cannot be the only person who's literally on Boston Talk going, go on Boston, go off Boston. So if you haven't heard, or you're not on Boston Talk, I urge you. So ICE are threatening to come to Boston, and the Bostonians, I guess, is that how you say it? I mean, that's how a Bostonian like, I don't know, the Bostonians are coming out. They're like, you ain't coming here. We might not like our neighbor, we might hate our neighbor, you do not come to Boston and boss people like that. They are coming out. The Bostons are coming out. Honestly, it has been the most endearing, beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, it is absolutely sensational. I urge you, if you're not, go check it out. No, I did not expect it to be quite so popular and quite so full of people like going, no, ICE, you don't have no place here. You are not coming to our place and telling us how to run stuff. And it's just so much better because they say it with that accent and they just sound so cool. Like, I'm not trying to like fetishize them, but if I was, I was. Boston, I can't wait to see what else you do. Like, you just get on Boston Talk. Highly love it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Also, like, I'm just seeing how blunt you're being and how you're rallying the troops and reminding people of the history of what Boston did. So
I'm a born and raised New Yorker, so I feel like I have a little bit of authority to speak on this. Massachusetts, Boston, that is the older sibling of New England. We're all related. We can't stand each other, but we're related. And so I thought that it was common knowledge that you do not come for the originators of the revolution. I thought it was common knowledge that you do not disturb the Mecca of the revolution. And the thing that happened when you disturb the oldest sibling, now that becomes everybody else's problem. Because had you messed with New York, New York could defend itself. You come from Maine, maybe Boston, Massachusetts is looking a little bit closer to make sure you don't go too far. But you came for the birthplace of the revolution? Got it. And here's the thing. Massachusetts people are only prouder, I feel like, of one thing than being from Boston. And you know, baseball sports come close, right? But when I tell you that everybody is Irish, they don't care if they're actually Irish or not. And you know what? That explains a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know anything about Ireland, it makes sense. It makes sense. But the way that they are prouder of the fact that there may or may not be Irish blood running through their veins, or immigrant blood running through their veins, I just want to know what's getting thrown in the harbor next. Maybe it's a surprise. I don't know, but why? Why would you do that? You could have gone anywhere else.
I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
So you're bringing hell to Boston. That's cute. Last time someone tried to bring hell to Massachusetts, we invented rebellion and sent them running. You think you were the first guy to try and tell us what to do? Buddy, we've been fighting off tyrants since 1776. Lexington and Concord, that was us. The Boston Tea Party, yeah, that was us too. Bunker Hill, we show the world what standing your ground really looks like. We don't get scared, we start revolutions. You think you can roll up here and push us around? You've got another thing coming. You think you're bringing hell? Massachusetts is hell for people who try to take away our freedoms. We don't flinch, we don't bend, and we damn sure don't take orders from some federal goon trying to act tough. Boston might be the target, but make no mistake, all of Massachusetts and New England is standing its ground. Matter of fact, if you really want to play with us, we'll start a whole new revolution. We'll throw all the Teslas in the harbor and call it the Electric Tea Party. Because history repeats itself. And Massachusetts always...
You're fucking telling me they want to bring ICE to Boston? The border czar wants to bring ICE to Boston. Good fucking luck. I've already stocked up on Newports and Bud Heavies. I can have the homeless raised like a fucking militia in a day. 12 hours in a pinch. Do you forget what Boston is? Every jerk off here just wants a reason. We don't like our neighbors, but try to take them from us. See what happens. We are strangely protective of the people we don't like. Because who else are we gonna hate on? If our neighbor, who's undocumented, isn't next door for us to fucking talk shit to. And they talk shit back just as much. But if ICE shows up, I'm kicking doors down. No one's coming for Juan Julio. Nobody. No one.
So I pretty much went my entire life just like knowing that Boston was racist. Outside of the fact that New Edition is from Boston. Mark Wahlberg is also from Boston. So I just went knowing that it was really just a bunch of racist people running Boston. Like, the running joke is that when a black player goes to Boston, if they don't have a good game, they're called everything but a child of God. Slurs that I didn't even know existed. That's why Kyrie Irving didn't like being there. So imagine my surprise when I find out that not only is Boston going to fight ICE, there is now a mass slew of videos of white people threatening ICE on some slide if you want. I'm the only one that can call them out their name. You can't do that. I'm not saying that it makes it right. It does make it funny, however, because I guess ICE just thought it was going to be easy pickings. You was just going to call your local deli owner. He was just going to spill the beans on all the Mexicans that was in the area, huh? No such luck. Those are my Mexicans.
If you were part of a union or working class people who were allowed to build a better life in the middle class in America, you fucking listen to us. Because if you're out there buying those fucking hats that these swindlers are selling at that fucking fair, I'm sorry kids, I know there's kids here, then you're part of the problem, and I'll tell you why. Because you're being duped by the greatest swindler in the history of the world. You're being duped by a bunch of grifters and billionaires who don't give a shit about you or your family. They care about their fucking tax breaks and the money they can put in their pocket. If you consider yourself a patriot and you're spouting off that election denying shit, I will fight your ass outside if you want to. Wake the fuck up! We're working class people! These people are the fucking rich, the billionaires, and they don't give a shit! Thank you for listening.
Let me close with a final request. I say it not as your president or commander-in-chief, I say it as a man who spent 50 years of his life serving his country in a different way. Remember your oath.